Have you ever wanted to see the Spartan baby thrown off the cliff survive thanks to his brother, then go off to learn about the power of friendship, only to then come back to Sparta and kill Daddy to prove he was not one of the weak children?
Father!
Well, then, do I have a movie for you? If you saw the trailer for Predator Badlands and were one of the many people that said the Predator just looked stupid, then I have potentially good news for you. He looks just as stupid in the entirety of the movie. But it is, in fact, a plot point. And not just because the slimmer, more human like features are easier to manipulate and CGI and whatever to show more emotion for this deeply feeling predator. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and spoil the hell out of this because, frankly, there isn't enough here to really go over to care. And I didn't really like the movie, so you get everything. The story of Predator Badlands is the main predator man is a smaller, weaker predator that has to prove himself and earn his invisibility cloak by hunting a creature that even his dad fears. However, his father doesn't even want him to have the chance. He thinks he's weak and just needs to be culled from the clan. But main predator guy's brother goes against his father and saves him, which costs brother Dearest his life. Because the main predator guy had saved his brother's life once as a kid at one time from a children's toy that kills people. That whole thing wasn't explained very well, and it was mainly thrown out and used for laughs than, anything serious. I mean, you never really even learn what the children's toy does, but they play the joke of, oh my god, that was a children's toy? But anyways, main predator guy gets shoved onto his brother's ship and sent to the super deadly things planet to get his trophy and to impress Daddy Dearest. But oh no, Preditard is too distracted watching his brother get killed. He doesn't put on a seatbelt and gets blown back from the acceleration of the ship and gets knocked out. How convenient. He is out cold for so long that the ship crashes into the deadly planet and he wakes up in time to not really collect any of his cool serious weapons and leave in an escape pod. And once his escape pod crashes on the planet, he collects a rudimentary set of weapons that I guess came in the escape pod. While he's checking gear like a good soldier, no notes with that, tentacle vine creatures appear behind him and attack. He immediately loses all of these cool weapons that would have made for interesting kills, except for his sword and wrist sword thing. He managed to escape the tentacles unhentai and to not really kill them all so that later characters can then kill them all to show how intimidating you should find them. But yeah, once free of the vines, Preditard goes off and starts to kind of explore and see what the entire planet is about. And he quickly discovers that all its inhabitants and plants and bugs are basically just walking death traps, and that absolutely everything is designed to kill. So yeah, basically Australia with kid gloves on. He runs into the torso-only robot chick from the trailer, who is a synth from Wayland Yutani. Alien reference. There will be another crossover if the movie does well. She convinces Preditard to take her along and to use her as a tool to help kill the big monster beastie, and in exchange to help get her legs back. They go on a traveling adventure and they kill some stuff, and then they make a new wee beastie friend that they then abandon, and the Preditard talks about his brother and how he needs to kill things for honor and glory. Robot Lady mentioned she also has a kind of sibling and she wants to see her again, and they both almost died fighting Big Beastie. Cut to the sister being repaired by Wayland Utani and told not to fail her mission this time, or she will be destroyed, and that there is a predator on the planet and to kill it. How the robot mom voice computer thing knows there's a predator on the planet? Don't know. So yeah, Sister Robot is the big baddie, and she tracks the Preditard. She proves she's capable by fighting those vine monster things, and then she ransacks the Preditard ship that she just happens to find for all his good tech and grenades and shoulder blaster.
Wow, a gun!
Why didn't the Preditard go find his ship and do this himself? Don't know. But I guess I'm calling him the Preditard for a reason. Because he later does find the ship, and he goes there and heals himself later in the movie. So he could have done that at any time. But back to chronological events. So Preditard makes it to where the robot sister's legs are and the den of Big Beastie. Robot Lady goes, yeah, I called my sister in to find me, and I'm really here with this mission to capture Big Beastie, so I need you to leave. You were the tool, not me. I mean, she says politely because, she seems like a good person, and she also kind of cares for her sister and the mission when she doesn't want Predator to get hurt. Predator gets very upset about this and says, bring it on, and goes to fight the Big Beastie. Big Beastie turns up and they fight, and it turns out it's really easy to hurt it, but it's practically immortal because it has regenerative properties that would make Wolverine blush. The fight is a CGI fest of alright to not very creative action until Robot Sister shows up and captures both the Beastie and Preditard. And she does this by using freezing grenades she pilfered from the Preditard's ship. Just going to show that the writers did not know how to make any of this shit actually seem intimidating. The creature is supposed to be so strong and unkillable that the Preditard's dad, the biggest, baddest predator of their clan, is scared to even attempt to kill it. Yet it can be easily rendered incapacitated, as we find out later, killed, using what is shown to be as a standard weapon they have an abundance of. Between the ship and the escape pod, it seems like the movie shows that there's 8 of these in total in the movie. So what is the Predator race scared of? It seems like they could have killed this thing easily at any time. But anyways, the Beastie and Preditard are captured, and they are being taken to the Wayland Utani base. Preditard is being restrained while still conscious, so the robot sister can do the big "We are the Baddies" monologue reveal, and Robot Chick can see her sister more of how she really is, and they both kind of feel betrayed. Robot Chick helps Preditard escape, and that's when he finally goes back to his ship and heals himself. And he gets armored up with the deadly bits of the planet he learned about in his travels, which includes blade grass, flower pods that shoot paralysis needles, exploding worms, and a weird eel thing that shoots acid that just kind of sits on Preditard's shoulder like the shoulder laser gun thing, because Preditard gives it beans, slimy beans, and that makes it happy and therefore loyal. This was something that was clearly being set up throughout the movie, so it was no surprise that happened. And I will say, except for that acid-spitting eel thing, I did like this bit. The little wee beastie friend thing that had joined the robot girl and Preditard once again joins the Preditard on his assault of the Wayland Utani base. Because it turns out that Wee Beastie is the child of Big Beastie, and that it had made Preditard part of its clan. So then Preditard decides it's Predin time and suddenly gets a boost in abilities and assaults the base. He's pretty stealthy at first, taking down synths one by one, and then coordinates a distraction and trap for Sister Robot in order to have Robot Lady free Big Beastie. Predator then fights Sister Robot in a giant version of the exoskeleton from Aliens, who also has his shoulder blaster. You know, remember those things? Alien was Predator does not fare well, but he is saved by Big Beastie. There is a CGI fight, and with the help of Predator, Big Beastie eats Sister Robot right before she uses another one of those ice grenades. They celebrate the win, and Predator and Beastie bump heads going, hell yeah, fellow clan member. And then Big Beastie explodes in ice and can't regenerate for some reason, so yeah, it's dead. Definitely didn't see it coming when they were like, the grenade is clearly activated, can't be turned off, and just got eaten, and it's the one thing that the bastard locked up. Whatever. Robo Sister is then about to kill Robo Lady for her betrayal, but Predator saves her, and then Little Beastie rips her head and spine out like Big Brother Predator showed him. Predator goes back to his planet and goes, look, a synth head. I'm Harry Potter, bitch. Give me my invisibility cloak. Daddy Dearest goes, yeah, no, you're weak as shit. And in fairness to Daddy, he said he would get a trophy from Big Beastie, not a synth. So, I mean, he still failed his mission in his hunt no matter what he had brought back. But Predator goes, I'm a badass now, and I don't need your clan. I have my own. So I just want a cloak, and I'll be on my way. They don't take too kindly to that, so he kills two of the other predators, and then he does a fight with his dad, kills him, and takes his cloak. But before they leave, a ship shows up, and Predator goes, oh no, it's Mom. And boom, the sequel has been successfully baited, and call me not excited as the credits roll. Now, there is DNA of competence in this movie. There was clear restraint from not paying things off as soon as they were set up. Not everything is outright explained to you like you're an idiot. I thought the robots would be lesbian lovers and not weird sisters, so color me surprised with that. I thought we would get a lot more of like Predator crying and having emotions, and maybe he would have a boyfriend back home. So, you know, not having that, I guess, was kind of a plus. There were times where the fighting was fun and not just CGI garbage. And the Predator was always able to pull off some crazy stuff in the past, so nothing too really over, wow, that was just wacky that I could do that, complain things to have about that. It's more the characters and logic were not really up to snuff. The humor felt very Marvel humor, and the fact that it was supposed to be a predator, I think hurts that a lot. And I found myself asking questions like, the father who wants the son dead, why did he wait till he was of hunting age to order him being killed? And again, why did the predator not go back to his ship for weapons immediately? Why did he even need to do the escape pod when the ship crashed and apparently could still function and fly all the way back home? Why didn't he fashion weapons from the environment sooner? Why didn't he actually hunt? He just kind of meandered through the jungle. He was just always outright in the open, and he would sometimes just make big flashy things to bring in his prey. He didn't stalk or track or, you know, hide and wait or learn about his environment or anything that you would think a predator would do. Well, clearly, I mean, the writers couldn't write him as kind of weak and struggling and needing help from these other characters if he could just go invisible with the cloak, so they had to make that a post-mission reward. And according to this new lore, by the way, shouldn't like the black lady from AVP2 deserve a cloak now, not just a branding on the head? I mean, but fuck old continuity, right? I mean, why should they be able to write him being more stealthy and more hunter-like even without the cloak? Wait a minute. They did write him that way when he stormed the base of Weyland-Yutani. So I guess they just didn't want him to be competent like a predator in the beginning. Because of reasons. I mean, that has to be why they made him lose all his weapons immediately. They couldn't have him slowly lose them all over the course of the movie as the monsters became stronger and more for him to tackle. No, he needed to lose all those, too complicated to write for weapons, right off the back, and make him just always need a little bit of help from someone to get the kill from the beginning. Because, I mean, they just really had to get that point across that he is way stronger when he's in a pack than when he is alone. Like the alpha wolf or whatever they were going for with that wolf subplot thing. And then also kind of like with character thing, Preditard talked way too much. And so does Robot Lady. I mean, she does not stop talking, and it did get a bit annoying. I mean, overall, I was fine with her. It was more, again, like Marvel humor that got old. But the actress did a good job. Sometimes it worked for me, sometimes it didn't. And of course, as soon as she realized Weyland-Yutani, her sister, were the evil people and decided to help the Preditard, she became the greatest fighting synth of them all. And she specifically said in the movie that she's programmed for scientific research and to be in a lab. She's just overly sensitive in order to understand the creatures and then exploit them. But you know what? No, we just gotta have our girl bosses. Overall, I think this movie is a swing and a miss. Predator just being shown so much for a whole movie really highlighted how the makeup and the suit and the prosthetics can make stuff like using fingers look really awkward when you see him having to push buttons all the time. If only you had something. Like, I don't know, an invisible cloak that could help with that. Because then he could still be kind of like a hunter, and you wouldn't have to show the body doing all these things so much. That can be kind of awkward in a big stiff foam suit and pounds of makeup. What a concept. But anyway, yeah, so creatures like Alien and the Predator, like many other things, they just never really needed to have their background and lore and species information flushed out. Mysteries of who or what they are and why, like the Predator's hunt for skulls and stuff, was a part of their charm, mystery, and when you needed them to be scary, kind of scary. And whatever writers come up with will never be better than what the audience come up themselves in their head. Like, this movie would have been better if the Predator didn't share so many feelings and was more of a hunter and a quiet and suspicious but still needing the android lady as a tool kind of thing. And a more Terminator 2 kind of vibes, I guess, is the best kind of comparison. There's no really good one, but, you know, like, the historically bad kind of something happens where he needs it, and he's kind of quiet, calm thing, still being overly killy predator guy, but then, you know, in the end, he's, instead of killing the robot lady, he helps her kind of thing. But anyways, yeah, if they did something like that, I think it would have been cooler, especially if they actually let the Predator keep all of the weapons and, you know, do some cooler kills and not just the plasma sword cutting things in half down the middle kind of shit that they did like 3 times. But even if they did all that kind of stuff that I mentioned, I still don't think the movie would have been needed or maybe even good. I think it could have been better and a lot more like an action slop, but I just don't really see it with the potential to be that good. Hollywood just needs to keep the Predator on ice indefinitely. Maybe just re-release like the first back into theaters so people can get back in their minds how it's supposed to be done and enjoy the nostalgia and forget just yet another shitty entry in the franchise. Yeah, Predator Badlands. I don't think it's worth your time in theaters. Maybe not even worth your time on streaming. But hey, like and subscribe. Let me know what you think, what you want me to review next. If there's anything you want me to review next, or do more video game streams or anything, please, please help the channel grow. All right. Bye.
And this goes on and back and forth for 90 or so minutes until the movie just sort of ends.